Hi, everyone. Welcome to Sports Jazz. Josh and Isaac. We are back, baby. Again, we want to remind you Manchester is red. The whole Manchester is red. What a night, what an evening yesterday, depending on the time zones, wherever you were watching from. United had I call it spectacular because we had not yet seen United give us that kind of performance. Josh, I don't know where you were yesterday, but bro, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Two
What
goals
a
in
day!
115 seconds, man.
What a day! What a day! At least my kids enjoyed it more than I did. So I think you know what that means.
Man, it was
we have a
amazing.
we have a few Manchester United fans in the future.
Yeah. Once again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, Josh and Isaac. Please do subscribe, turn on the notifications. And yeah, we're looking at the derby yesterday. We're looking at the derby where we had United beating Man City or Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium, something that has been so rare. That is Man City losing twice in a period of 2 years at the Etihad. The first time was still this season, where they lost to, was it Josh Spurs 4-0? Then yesterday, United coming back from a 1-0 down, or from a goal down, sorry, to winning the game in the last 10 minutes of the game. We call it Faggy time. Amad Diallo. Josh, speaking about Amad Diallo, break for me what happened yesterday. How amazing is this player? His progress. I mean, he's a player we didn't know at one point he would be starting games, and he's amazing. He's really amazing.
Yeah, Amad Diallo is one of those players that you would love to have at any football club. There's so many things that are very good about the lad, and it looks like he's one who takes on instructions to the letter because ever since Ruben Amorim came in, he has almost adapted immediately to the demands of the manager. And when Eric Ten Hag brought him through into the Manchester United lineup, he played for him, and he showed flashes of brilliance at the time. We always knew that the kid was good. There was or two things he had in his locker. That's why maybe he went to Sunderland and did very well. But about the game proper yesterday,
That's what I want,
yo,
Josh. The
Amad
rest can wait.
Diallo, Amad Diallo is just a phenomenal player. He
You know,
has nimble feet.
it should be
He's
called
very
that.
composed.
Yesterday should be changed and called the Diallo Derby because he owned the derby yesterday. It was all about him.
There's no changing it. I mean, that's what it is. It was the Diallo derby. I mean, the
Amazing, man.
Diallo has a nimble feet. He's very composed. He's a calm player. He's highly technical. I mean, there are things that he's going to do on the pitch that would leave you in awe. But Ruben Amorim had tried him out in the 10 role in the previous game, the Europa game, and he thought it best for Amad Diallo to play closer to goal. That's what we were. That's what most of us wanted for Amad Diallo to be doing, to play closer to goal, because he has the attributes that can change a game for you. And yesterday, these attributes came out. The way he helped United get back in into the game by getting the penalty. That penalty, the touch that he made to not hit that ball first time. When Kyle Walker misplaces the pass to Matthias Nunes, Amad Diallo sniffs danger and picks up that ball. When he picks up that ball and Ederson has left goal, um, for any player, you would think that the goal is empty. Let me just hit this. I might score. But the angle was too tight, and I kept screaming,
Very
"Please
tight.
don't hit it!
I
Please
actually thought
don't
he
hit
was going
it!"
to go back. He was going to give the ball back, pass the
No,
ball
I
back
didn't
to
want him to
anyone who
hit the
was
ball.
close.
Yeah, and he just pulls the ball back, waits for company, and Matthias Nunes just comes and takes him out. and we get a penalty. With the penalty we got some life in us. Actually, United had been playing well even prior to the penalty. At least we held our own, and
Mm.
then the moment came. The moment came for his second goal. Um, I would
Beautiful
like
pass
to,
from Lisandro.
yeah, Lisandro Martinez. If you can say that Lisandro Martinez uh, took a minute, oh, not a minute. He might have taken a second longer on the ball than Amad Diallo would have liked. But
Mm, mm, mm.
Amad Diallo did what they call a three dummy run. The Strikers Union would agree that Amad Diallo had the run of a world class striker. I mean, he saw Licha, their eyes interlocked, and he knew that this ball was on. So he makes the run. When he makes the first run, when he makes the first run, he's going to be offside because Licha has taken a second longer on the
That was
ball.
a clever
Then,
run. It
yes,
was
then
like he was going back. The defender
exactly, he
chopped
checks
away.
his
He had
run.
to,
He checks his run.
he had
He's
to
now
fall.
behind Gavidio. Gavidio doesn't know that Amad Diallo is there. By the time Gavidio turns and looks at Amad Diallo, he has a yard or so on him, and he's through on goal. Ederson did not expect Amad Diallo to get onto that ball, but he gets onto that ball, um, takes it over the keeper, and what a finish! What a
Yo,
finish!
what
What
a
a
finish,
finish. A
Josh.
very difficult volley from the angle he was, but he managed to pull it off. And
He was
Amad
the star of
Diallo,
the night. He was the star of the night, from Ten Hag's
star
bench
boy, star
to
boy.
the star boy, Amarim's star.
Yo,
Josh,
don't ruin this. Eric
briefly.
Ten Hag brought Amad Diallo into the fold.
Well, that means then we have to give credit to Ole, Josh, because it was
No,
the whole
Ole
thing
wrote
started
him
with
off.
Ole.
Ole wrote him off and sent him on loan.
You know,
He did.
Josh, briefly, let me give you something about Amad Diallo. Born
Sure,
in
sure.
Abidjan, Ivory Coast, Diallo moved to Italy at a young age where he began his football career with an amateur club or with the amateur club Bocabaco. His talent was evident from the start, catching the eye of the scouts from major Serie A clubs. Majority of them were very, very much interested in him, rather in him. But it looks like he chose Atlanta. Atlanta also chose him. He joined their youth system at around 2015, of course, showcasing his skills, the desire, the quick feet, Josh. And they won two trophies. They're called Primavera. No, I think they're called Primavera. I'm not so sure, Josh. But yeah, his performance was then very, very promising, Josh, of which he came stepping up through the ranks with his outstanding performances. And 2019, he made his debut into the senior team or onto the senior team of Atlanta, 17-year-old, and scored even on his debut, becoming the first player born in 2002 to do so, Josh, at that time. And then he goes on, Josh, his move to, if you look at the move that took him to Manchester United under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, in January 2021, United secured Diallo's transfer from Atlanta for a fee that could rise to 37 million pounds. Of course, by then, the initial fee is 19 million pounds, but with ads on and everything, 37 million pounds. But despite the high expectations, as you said, Josh, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer didn't really bring him into he gave him when we chance. He gave him chance. He made his debut in the Europa against Real Sociedad, and he scored his first goal against AC Milan in the same competition, Josh. But we see the loan spells came in, of course, to gain regular time, to be on his, rather to bring the best out of him. He was loaned out to
Yeah, in
Rangers.
his in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's defense, there was an injury that hampered his development
And he
earlier
also
on
said
at United.
the boy needs game time. Rather, yeah, game time, playing time. So he had to push him out to Scotland, Rangers, where he played the second half of the season 2021 and 22, where he made an immediate impact by scoring on his debut. Again, it looks like he's so good on scoring on his debuts. But yeah, the following season, Josh, he went to Sunderland Championship, where he truly flourished, scoring 14 goals in 42 appearances and earning the club's young player of the year award.
Um,
That is still Amad Diallo. Then we see him again when Eric Ten Hag arrives at Manchester United. He struggled, Josh, to be honest. The injuries that kept him out of the
yeah,
season
yeah, yeah, yeah.
almost.
He had a
Was
torrid
it
time with
the
injuries.
first half of the season, 2023-24? Then he returned back to the Manchester squad. And Diallo found it very hard, by the way, Josh, to play under Eric Ten Hag, despite his potential. He was often looked
Yeah,
for stats, but even moments,
you
Josh,
see,
like you remember the game against Liverpool,
yes,
the
yes,
FA Cup,
yes,
he scored,
Eh,
Josh.
yes. Eric Ten Hag brought him
Stoppage
on.
winner, brought him
Yeah,
on. But even
yeah, he
despite
brought
all
him
that,
on.
Josh,
But
it seems
you
like
see
he
that,
wasn't a favorite.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He wasn't because I think for me, the thing is, players must be reliable. The thing a manager can ask of players is reliability. And
Mm,
if a player has been struggling with injuries, but you've seen that he has potential to unlock something in your side to make you a better team, then you will want to actually take good care of that player during his time of rehabilitation so you can have him longer. It was as much as we wanted Amad Diallo to play, there was an avalanche of attackers at United, though they were not performing, but they were there.
but
And they
Josh,
were a bit high in the pecking order. There was Jadon Sancho, there's Marcus Rashford, there's Martial was there at the time. So it was always going to be a bit difficult for him.
or one can say his integration into the first team was slow, Josh, because of Ten Hag's
Yeah,
preference for
yeah,
other
yeah.
wingers like Anthony
No, no,
and
no, 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 no,
Diallo
no, no,
was
no, no.
frequently left on the
No, no,
bench,
no, no,
used
no,
as
no,
an
no.
impact substitute,
No, no,
Josh.
no, 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 no. I
That
disagree with that. I
honestly, he was a
totally
bit
disagree with
frustrated
that point. I know
because
that point
I
is
remember
a famous
fans,
one. That point is a
pundits,
famous one.
everyone pointed this
Yes,
out.
that point is a famous one, and they do point it out. But I asked Aziz last time, please tell me how many games that as Anthony played under Eric Ten Hag and Amad Diallo. That is this season, and you can barely see the games that Anthony has played. They're not as many games as you would suppose. But for me, I do believe that a, a manager only demands for a player to be reliable, to a player to be available. And if
Mm.
a player cannot be available, a player cannot be chosen.
Well, I can say, at least I know you always put up a fight for Eric Ten Hag when we talk about players like Amad Diallo getting less game time. But Josh,
Yeah, because
that
it's not true. It's not
that all
true.
aside, that all aside, he was how can I put it right? The resurgence of Amad Diallo under Ruben Amorim, because the arrival of Amorim as the new Manchester United head coach marked a significant turning point for Diallo. The tactical setup of Amorim, often involving a 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1 formation, seems like it's the best. And I mean, it's one of those formations that suits Diallo. Remember, it's the same formation at Atlanta. Rasmus Holland
Yeah,
also
but
talked about it. And
if you
Ahmad was given
notice,
a new role as the wing as the right wing back, which allowed him to showcase his versatility, pace, and
true,
directness.
true,
And it looks
true.
like Amorim has, he has paid him by trusting him, transforming him into a more lethal player. I mean, in the first few
He
games
has
under
always
Amorim,
been.
Diallo has
We
proven to be versatile, Josh, a dynamic
Yeah,
player capable of playing as a wing back or as a central attacking midfielder. And we're seeing that every chance he's given. His adaptability has been crucial with consistent world class performances, Josh. So you cannot tell me with Amorim it was different. It could have been maybe just the setup. That also could have been the setup.
no, never. With a player who is as gifted as Amad Diallo, he doesn't have a problem with the setup because this player is very good. He's technically gifted. They can ask him to play anywhere on the pitch and he will play. He can surprise you that he can play in places you wouldn't think that he can play because of his football intelligence and that technical ability on the pitch. But for me, I would like to think that a manager cannot leave a player out because of a preference. the manager can only leave a player out because there are certain things that that player has not yet done, or the ones before him have a higher ranking, and they're showing better things on the pitch. For me, when Eric Ten Hag, by the time Eric Ten Hag left, he had started. Diallo was now fit, and Diallo had played a few games this season. So he starts with Amad Diallo this season. He plays a few games. He has a few games in him. You can say that maybe the manager was confused towards the end of his tenure at United, that he was not picking the right players. But this very season, in the best games that Eric Ten Hag played, Amad Diallo was playing. Then when Eric Ten Hag is fired and Ruud van Nistelrooy um, is given the pips at United, he continues to play Amad Diallo, and his progress in the and development in the team
Mm.
continues with him. So Ruben Amorim comes at the time which was so perfect for Amad Diallo if he was trusted by the new guy. And the way Amad Diallo plays, he always showed that he would be one of those players the manager would trust.
Well, at least I'm happy to say the narrative that he has not yet fully realized his potential has already shifted to a player central to United's new tactical approach with Amarim's system of playing, because it plays, uh, the system plays to his strengths, Josh. We've seen this as a direct contrast, contrast to the experience under Ten Hag, under Ole. Okay, maybe under with Ole, I can excuse him. He was still a kid. He still need to make that. That impact. But the trajectory looks like it just keeps on going high for Ahmad Diallo. His career and growth. He's on his journey to get a new contract very soon, Josh. I don't know whether you've read about that. And I hope the contract is extended, and it's because he deserves it right now.
I don't want
I
him
hope
to
it's
be a given. I don't want him to be given a new contract too soon. I mean, why are you distracting the boy? Let the boy play his football. He still has a contract
well.
at
They are
United, and it
safeguarding
is,
him, Josh.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He still has a. I know
I
it
think
is.
I'm not so
It
sure
is
whether he has a release clause, but if he has a release clause and someone comes out and pays it, you're out of the game,
no.
Josh. You have to
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
him
yeah.
in, even
I
pay
know,
more.
I know. It makes business sense.
Yeah.
But oftentimes we've seen players like Marcus Rashford. The moment he pens a new deal and he gets a bumper wedge, I mean, he just stops showing up.
Well, quickly, just let's go into the comment section. Nelson says, "Bring it on, guys! Glory, glory, Man United." Nelson, I don't know where you disappeared to yesterday. I think you were busting cans and cans and cans. Yeah, great players show up on big matches. That is still
100%.
Nelson. Ahmad was brilliant. He goes on to say, "I think one of the people who wrote him off, he looked weak. I think I
I
was one
think
of
I
the people
was.
who wrote him off. He looked weak, and his height not good enough for the Premier League. But the guy is quick and very intelligent on the ball. When he says he looked weak back then, I might agree with him.
100%. hundred
I might agree
percent.
with him
Yes.
because I
Yes.
remember what other game did he play? There's a game where he played and he was just being bullied,
Yeah, he
being
was
pushed
bullied
off.
the whole time.
Yeah,
And
yeah. So it makes
you
sense.
must know that players develop. So
Mm,
Nelson is very right to have written him off at the time, because I mean, much as he had all that talent, actually you could see that he was a very talented player. He had nimble feet. They were very quick, but he often lost all the duels during the games that he played. So, I
mm.
mean, he had to work on that. He had to develop in certain ways. And maybe that's the reason he was overlooked in those spells. But it is not for preference of another player. I will never accept that.
Anyway, Josh, that was us looking at Amad Diallo's performance, as we called it, the Diallo Derby. But Josh, let us look at the player adaptation under Ruben Amorim at Man United, and by this I mean players like, of course, Amad Diallo already. we've just talked about him. Mazarawi, let's talk about him. There's another player, Rasmus Højlund, in the mix. Ugarte is already slotting in so well. Lisandro Martinez, it seemed like he might have, like a player was going to have a bit of issues, but it's like he's settling in well. The Ligt is there. The former skipper, Maguire, you have to give it to him. Yesterday, Josh, you have to give the man his flowers. He did his job yesterday. He did so well.
Why are you? You're so quick to give flowers. As in,
No,
why do you just give flowers like that? I mean, the guy did his job. He
he
played
did
very
an
well.
exceptional
I
job
mean,
yesterday, Josh.
yeah, yeah,
He
he
did so
did
well,
play
Josh.
very well. But
He held his end. He played very well.
flowers, no.
No, come on, you have to. Yeah, let's look at players. Those players. Real quick. Is it right to say
Yeah,
that Amorim has found his starting 11, or is in the process of finding his 11?
I've never believed that Amorim does not know his starting 11. I do believe that he knows exactly the first 11 players that he would wish to have in a football match, but the situation at the club cannot allow him to do that, and his own principles do not allow him to do that because he believes the fittest player is a player who is also fresh. That is the one that he wants to play in games, so he keeps rotating them, but I'm sure that he does know exactly which players he would like to start. For me,
Mm.
for anyone who didn't watch the game or who watched the game but did not understand what United was doing, or who believed that the game was boring, I mean, I think you can just watch Manuel Ugarte in that game for you to understand what Ruben Amorim intended to do on the
Bruno
pitch.
said,
If
Bruno
you
went
want
on one
to
of his
see,
posts and said, "Bro, are you still running?" The game
yeah,
ended, but
if
are you
you
still
wanted
running?
exactly, if you wanted to know the style of the style, the instructions that were given to players
Mm.
for this game, just watch Manuel Ugarte, and you would know exactly what the players needed to do and what Amorim. I think he was the best player on the night. Uh, um,
Unsung hero of the night, by the way.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
He
yeah,
did
yeah.
so well. He did
After
he was amazing.
after Ahmad Diallo and maybe Mazraoui. But the box three played very well. The defenders did play well apart from Diogo Dallo. But in the case of Diogo Dallo, I don't have a problem with him because he's still getting in the positions that the manager would want him to get into. It's just that he has a bad cross and he's not getting the crosses right, but at least he's making the movements in forward positions and positions to cover spaces for other players who are in form
I
at
think he's
this
really
moment
struggling,
to do
Josh.
well. Yeah, he is struggling, but he's not struggling like Maguire would struggle, if you understand what I mean. I mean,
Josh, chill Maguire.
okay,
Chill
he's
Maguire. Chill
okay.
Maguire. Maguire has
Let
been
me use
nothing but
someone else.
that exception.
Okay, let me use someone else. He's not struggling in a manner that is giving away goals. At the
Mm.
when the season started, he was struggling in a way that every bad mistake, every bad decision he made was punished. Okay, but at the
Mhm.
moment he's making. I mean, he's struggling, but he's not being punished for these decisions that he's making. And for me, it is mostly about his poor delivery on the crosses. He's getting into these positions that would give us an edge, but he's very low on confidence. He can't shoot the ball. He can't decide to dribble or do things that he used to do. So it's very difficult for him at the moment. But the
And
back
how
three, they played very well. Actually, the other
Maguire
four
even
played very
earlier,
well.
Maguire yesterday talked something. I mean, he mentioned something about being able. He was saying they're managing his game time because he's not been playing a lot. But yesterday he played 90 minutes and he felt so good. He's used to playing as a left CB for
Yeah,
Southgate
yeah.
back then, but he can also play as as the middleman in the back three. He says just like
That's the
what
only place. That's the only
just like
place you
what
can put him.
Amorim told him to do, and it looks like I think was also a bit surprised that he could execute it so well because he did well. He did perfect, Josh.
Yeah,
He did perfectly
yeah, yeah.
fine.
It was a new feeling for him. But for me, in that back three, that's the only place that he can play. He cannot play anywhere else. He's too slow. He can't. We can't afford to have him be on the left. And we have Licha. Licha
Mm.
is like 20 times better than he is. So he's always going to be the guy to play in that position. Maguire can never execute that pass that Licha did.
And Josh, also the most underrated signing of this summer to me, I still think it's Mazraoui.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
What
yeah,
a
yeah.
steal, Josh.
Mazraoui was. I don't know. It is very difficult to pick a man of the
He
match.
slotted in so
I
far.
mean, Amad Diallo hands down takes it home, but Manuel Ugarte and Mazraoui are very close behind him.
No, no, I'm just saying the players that have quickly slotted into Amarim's style of play. Mazraoui is one
Yeah,
of those players. He's also
Mazraoui
there.
is a proper
He's in the
bowler. He's a
bracket.
proper bowler. It's
He's
not
in the
just
bracket.
about Ruben Amorim's style of play, but he has showed you since he has come to the club that just give him a job, he'll do it.
He'll do it. And
Yeah,
just the
left,
leaks,
right.
this we saw Ganacho and Rashford dropped yesterday, and it has turned out to be a big issue. And it looks like people are just nailing them, crossing them. Hi, Sinan, what up? Everyone is telling them they need to change. Of course, reports today coming out that the club is ready to let go of Rashford if suitors come through, but they are also worried because of the current contract. They don't see anyone coming through. And Rashford also thinks
That's
from
just news.
Josh, Rashford also
Yeah,
thinks, as you've said, maybe news. Okay, nothing, but it looks like he's being pushed out at some point by the United hierarchy or executive. It looks like he's being pushed out.
you see, when you have a huge contract like Marcus Rashford has, you're not going to be pushed out by the hierarchy. They're going to massage your ego so well that you can mutually leave the club. They are not going to run to the media to run articles about you leaving the club. I like the fact that Ruben Amorim said the things that he said about dropping Marcus Rashford and Alejandro Garnacho. If it is about, if it is not a disciplinary thing, but it is, they were dropped because of football reasons. That's what I want in my manager. I want my
Mm.
manager to stand his ground and say, no, you cannot do this. I mean, if Garnacho and Marcus Rashford want to go and have an interview with Piers Morgan, so be it. But just don't let them go around doing whatever they want to do.
Yes, CR7 man, but that thing really pissed you off.
It pissed me off, man. He adulterated my club.
Oh God, it really, you never stop talking about it. But
Yeah, I
Josh,
mean, why would you do that to
39
Manchester
assists in
United?
10 season. Do you think that is enough? I'm talking about assists.
That 39.
Assists in 10 season. Despite playing alongside players like anyway Bongoli
Yo,
Lukaku is
let's leave Marcus Rashford.
why
We need
Josh?
we are going forward. We're not going backwards.
Why Josh? He's a Glasgow winger.
Yeah, and I
Best suited.
know
I
that
actually think he's best suited to play as a left winger in systems like the 4-3-3, the 4-2-3-1, but
for
systems like
me,
Amorim's 3-4-3 setup. Josh,
yeah,
he's
that
been
is.
tried both as a center forward. We
And
see him
Amorim
behind the
and
striker,
Amorim said
and
something that
it looks like
that
it's an
speaks.
issue. Mm,
Amorim said something that speaks to his positioning, because he said that when you look at Marcus Rashford, we have tried him here and it is not working.
it's not
We have
working.
tried him. So, I mean, yeah, but it is true for me, a footballer. I know their positions that you would prefer and things like that, and natural ability can give you a certain position to be your best. But a footballer playing in a forward, if on the forward line, you should be able to adjust and play as a 10 and things like that. But
Exactly.
it
Mm.
is true, his game, his style of football, that is Rashford and Ganacho, is running in behind defenders, and with the two tens, you just have to
Amarim's,
be very
yeah,
technical and comfortable on the ball.
you have to draw actually defenders out with the two
Yeah,
tens.
yeah, 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 yeah. So
You know.
it becomes a bit difficult. But for me, I'm not worried for that. And I'm actually very happy that Amorim is ready to crack the whip. I mean, whoever is not in line, yo, bounce.
Well, sorry, his brother and agent yesterday via Instagram said, I think Rashford posted something after Diallo scored. It was like getting Man United in and all that stuff. And his brother quoted the picture saying, or quoted the post saying, as you always say, all you want is United to win regardless of anything else. Remember today we're talking and offline, we're in an offline conversation saying, yeah, the brothers, both him and Ganacho always
Yeah,
do
Ganacho. Yeah,
such
yeah, yeah, yeah.
funny things. Well, maybe they
Yeah,
should stop.
but
This is the time.
yeah, we almost forgot about Rashford and Ganacho because
Yeah,
we have Ahmad
I actually
Diallo
forgot
and
about
we
them.
yeah. So I
Forgot
mean,
about them. Can
we're not going backwards. We're
just
just
real quick
ready to
before we
go
move
forward.
on, Anthony. Anthony, I think, I don't know, maybe it's still too early,
Oh,
but you were right. You insisted saying
oh,
Anthony has to be given another chance. It looks
oh,
like you were not,
because he's a
rather, you were correct. You were
technically
not wrong.
gifted player. He's a technically gifted player. You could have
The one
struggled
trick
at a
pony
club.
guy.
Yeah, you could have struggled at a club, but for me, in the season that in last season is the one that is spoken of, or, is spoken over too much about what he has not achieved at Manchester United and how he's a flop. But when you look at last season, the problems that he did have as a footballer, as in any human being would struggle to give 100% at their jobs if those were the circumstances. I mean, he's called to the national team, and while he's away with Brazil, the news hits that there's a domestic um,
Hmm.
violence
Yeah,
charge
yeah, yeah, yeah.
against him. Then he's pulled out of the national team. Okay.
Correct.
And then he has
Even
to go
club level
and be
also, he was
interrogated.
given some time to first go
Yeah.
clear everything.
Now I'm getting to that point. You see, as in you're in that whole mix of you're in camp. Okay, he's pulled out. There's a charge. Then he's taken for interrogation. Then I mean, wind reaches England, and Manchester United gives him time off to settle his situation. I mean, if you're dealing with all that, you're not going to be able to give 100% even when you're cleared. So for me, I gave him the benefit of doubt, and he started to look like he's ready to listen to Ruben Amorim.
Well, Josh Sinan earlier said, "Do you know that McTominay would fit in Amorim's system because of his work rate? Besides the work rate, but
Now the
yeah, Nelson
problem,
also agrees.
yeah, I somewhat agree. I somewhat agree, but not hundred
But
percent. He
but
cannot keep the ball. He cannot keep the ball. He cannot keep the ball. You
that's his
see,
problem.
the thing is, if you have Manuel Ugarte, your other midfielder cannot be Scott McTominay. Because, yes, Scott McTominay has very many good things about him, but he's too rushed to carry the ball forward. He misplaces a few passes here and
But
there,
he
but
gave us those beautiful moments.
no,
Do you
he's
remember
such
that
a player.
second goal against Man
He's such a
City?
player, and I believe watching Scott McTominay play. Jose
He's
Mourinho
doing
gave
so
him
well
his
in
debut.
Italy. Yeah, yeah, he
Jose
gave him his
Mourinho
debut.
gave him his debut, and guess who he sat to give him his debut?
No,
Paul
remind me,
Pogba.
please.
Paul Pogba. He
That's
sat
after they
Paul
had started
Pogba in the
their
Champions
beef.
League against Sevilla. No beef. Leave these media things. No
No,
beef.
Josh.
Leave
Pogba
these
just came
media
out and
things.
Pogba did an interview a few months ago, a few weeks ago, approximately a month, and he said,
Yes.
"I hold nothing. I have no bad blood, or there's no bad blood between me and Mourinho. Maybe he has it, but whenever I meet him, I'll always give him the flowers. I'll always respect him."
So
That's
where
what
do
he
you
said.
get the idea of the beef?
Because he said
The
whatever
media.
happened, how it came
Eh,
out, why he was
yeah,
dropped,
because
and
it
all that.
happened. No, look here. Look here. Let's finish the Scott
Anyway,
McTominay
man,
before we get
you know
the
what,
beef.
let's not talk about the hyena things because we don't want to remember
Yeah,
those that
but
died
what I'm trying to
hyenas.
say is Jose Mourinho gave him his debut, and that means a lot. If Jose Mourinho is a guy who was giving you your debut ahead of Paul Pogba, because at the time Mourinho was looking at Paul Pogba like a guy who cannot keep his head in the game, be level-headed, and do the job. He brings in Scott McTominay against Sevilla, and the guy has a performance of his life. We lost that game, so you might say that he did, but he did. He looked like a player who was going by the instructions of the manager. He was neat. He was basic. He was playing 1-2 touch passes. He was covering the back four very well. And I thought this guy would go on to be a very good player. So I can also agree with you. Maybe under Ruben Amorim, he's a guy who can listen to instructions and adjust.
Nelson says Amorim will not tolerate mediocres. Yeah, he said it. He's a very outspoken guy. He can be a very outspoken guy, but he can also be ruthless in the same
And you know the thing
sentence.
that he said that I liked so much in his post match presser is that man, guys are losing their jobs at the club. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh,
yeah, you
and,
cannot.
and you guys are playing
Yeah,
around.
you cannot be
I like
playing
that.
around. I mean, you should know that you gotta go. You
By the way,
gotta
that
go
was a
if you can
statement,
give your
Josh.
all.
That was
Yeah,
something very, I don't know whether people shouldn't take that lightly
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah. He did not take it
Ineos is
lightly
laying
because
off approximately, how many have been laid off? 250 or something?
yeah, I'm not certain, but he reminded the footballers that people are um uh,
The club
losing
is
their
laying off
jobs, so
people.
you
Yeah.
cannot, yeah, you cannot be there and not
Playing and
giving a
fooling
hundred
around.
percent. You have to raise your standards. If the club is trying to raise its standards by doing that, then get on board or boot.
Well, Amorim also about the leak, the dressing room leak. He said, I know that story. I don't know. I think it is impossible to fix nowadays. It is hard to know. It is not a good thing. Yeah, it's not a good thing, but let's move on and see if they find the next starting 11. That shows he, I think he knows. He has an idea, and people have been because when you join, obviously, people will tell you ABC. This one is this. The other one is this, and people will tell you. So I think he's already doing his homework. But overall, I'm so happy with the performance, man. I'm really, really happy. It felt so good to beat a team like Manchester City. It
No,
felt
it
so
just
good,
feels good to
very,
win
very good.
under. It just feels so good to win under Ruben Amorim because you see that the effort that he's trying to implement
The
is
structure,
paying off.
Josh. To be
Yeah,
honest, I
it's paying off.
understand.
I
I
can, I can.
understand right from the. You remember the first clips that came out. It
Yeah,
wasn't even a very well. The
the
team
training
was not full, but
session.
everyone would see it's a 3-4-3. So man, it's
Yeah,
amazing. It's
sure, but
amazing.
football shouldn't be that simple because oh, sorry, football should be that simple, but you being interested in it shouldn't be that simple because the formation is there. And I would beg 2 minutes to just say one thing that fascinated me about the game.
Yep,
We set up in a 3-4-3 formation, 3-4-2-1 formation, but we suffocated Manchester City by playing narrow with the five players up top, the two midfielders and the three on top.
the three back. Yep,
Yeah, they were narrow. They came into midfield because I think Pep Guardiola had envisioned playing too many midfielders in and around that place so they can be given time on the ball and they can possess this ball for longer periods. Even Doku was running away from Mazraoui, who had pocketed him all night, and he was trying to get into midfield, but he was not getting any joy there because Manuel Ugarte was, oh my God, wow, what a performance. Manuel Ugarte, that was his best game in Manchester United shirt. I mean, Bruno
by
Fernandes,
far.
Amad Diallo, Bruno Fernandes, Manuel Ugarte, and
Who Delict?
Hoyland. No,
Rasmus?
Hoyland.
Oh,
Yeah, they came to the
Mazarawi and
midfield. They were
Mazarawi too.
narrow a bit. So
Ah, okay, yesterday.
Mazraoui, Maguire, Licha, they all had time on the ball. Erling Haaland could not receive the ball. The Gundogans were marked out of the
Yo,
game. I mean, it was dope. It was dope.
Mazarawi manhandled Doku yesterday.
Yo, in the pocket all
Mazarawi
night.
manhandled Doku yesterday. I'm t- I think as soon as he reached home and he was emptying his pockets, the last person to go out to fall out was Doku.
Yeah, you know where he slept that night?
Where?
On the dresser. I mean, he threw his Mazraoui threw his keys there, and so did Doku go.
Oh my God.
Doku,
The
Doku
man.
just fell on the dresser, man. Yo,
Yes,
it was
I wish we
crazy.
have more games like this.
It was
And
crazy. No, we shall. But I don't have a problem with either of Marcus Rashford or Garnacho coming into the team next week because I mean the manager is setting the standards, and if these guys have done
if it's
enough,
worth it, let them
they
come
should.
back. If it's not worth it, let them wait.
Yeah. Exactly,
I'm
exactly.
not. I'm not
No, it should be. It
forgiving
should be
anyone.
merit. It should be merit because
Exactly.
Marcus Rashford looks like a guy who goes out there and does whatever he wants to
J
do.
United, you're
Comes
late
back.
to the party. J United, you are late to the party, man.
Yeah,
The
Marcus
best
Rashford
Monday
looks like
of
a.
my year. Sorry, Josh.
Yeah, J United. That's
Because
what's up.
yesterday we were on street. J United was on before
Uh,
the game started during the build up, and he was already pushing and pushing.
That's what's
Why
up. That's what's up. Man
I don't know
United
where
all
Aziz
way.
is. Aziz,
Amori,
but anyway,
Amori, Amori, Amori. Yo,
Aziz gave it. Aziz also was on our side yesterday, surprisingly. He
yeah,
said
Aziz,
United
yes,
have an
but
edge.
Ziad,
Man, where is he?
snitching on us, man.
You know? But yeah, Josh, yesterday was quite incredible. Man of the match, pure magic from Diallo. I mean, the game winner and relentless workhorse. That's what I can say yesterday. And of course, Ugarte in the midfield. Ugarte, that midfield maestro yesterday. He's an engine, breaking up City's rhythm and keeping things
Buddy
tight.
guy,
That's very, very
buddy
nice.
guy.
Lisandro, that assist for Amad Diallo, it's called the chef's kiss. And that's how it flew all the way
I
to
know.
Diallo's feet. And the finish,
Oh,
Josh, the finish with that
I
left, the
know.
finish.
Yo, it was
Did you see Onana's celebration?
remarkable. Yeah. I even saw the clip that when he was
Ren-
talking to him in the locker room.
and of course, as always,
He
La
speaks more French
Capitano,
than
the
English.
yeah, always a creative force. That is Bruno Fernandez. You know, J2 says, I'm so sorry, man. It's 1 a.m. at my place. Mondays are hectic. Tomorrow, again, back to office. I know, man. I know. J2, but so happy to have you on the stream, man. So happy. We won yesterday.
Yo, by the way, he coined this phrase. I shall not forget. Hey, Lord Anthony. Hey, Lord Anthony. All hail Lord Anthony.
I just no, your voice. No. Let me say
No,
it
no,
properly.
no. Oh.
All hail Lord Anthony.
Yo,
I
it's like you're
screamed so
saying
loud.
it. No, it's
I
like you're
screamed so
saying it
loud
from.
yesterday. I
You
think,
lost your voice a bit.
yeah, lost my voice a bit, man. It
Yeah,
was
but
fantastic.
all hail Lord Anthony. Good night, J United, man.
I think
Hey,
Anthony
Lord
is also doing
Anthony.
so well, Josh, as
Yeah,
right wing
and
back.
and
That is very good. I like that he's standing out to be a player that we expect him to be. He has
and
had
and and
two great performances now. The game
yeah,
against Nottingham Forest, we lost it. Uh, the game against the
the
one in
Europa game,
Europa,
Victoria
the Europa
Pleasant.
game against
Yeah,
Victoria, he did so well. Josh, I think he even had an assist.
he assisted their sister.
The, yeah, I remember. He assisted Diallo.
Yeah,
Then yesterday also, with the substitutions yesterday were right spot on, Josh.
yeah.
Spot on.
Yo,
The timings,
I mean,
a lot of positives
this guy
yesterday.
is a clever manager. I mean, his game management. Aziz was talking about Slot's game management in the game they had with Fulham, but I think yesterday Ruben Amorim topped that because it's like he always knew this was going to be a smash and grab situation. I mean, he set up the team to make sure that they stay in the game, they control the game. I mean, they just kept for the very first time, even when United has won games against Manchester City in the times of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, it did not feel like this because yeah, we did even score maybe more goals, but it was maybe a game of chance at that point. But here, there were so many things that were deliberate to make sure that we do get the victory.
I'm very very happy. I'll mention him again for players like Harry Maguire.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
game
Harry Maguire
yesterday,
played well, and Harry
that game
Maguire
yesterday
actually, yes,
is one of those games that he needed to boost his morale, to bring him back on 100% tackles success rate, 3 out of 3. Then ground duels won 100%, 5 interceptions, 1 block, 3 clearances. I think he did so well, Josh. And I mean, credit has to be given where it's due. Maguire delivered a colossal performance yesterday.
he did,
we
he did.
barely we barely talk about him because we've been, to be honest, yes, he was shitty, but it looks like a
No,
player who has found
forget all
himself,
that.
or
For me,
he's
I don't have a
reviving
problem if
his
Maguire
form back.
comes and if
He
Maguire
completely
comes
shut
and
down
is ready
Haaland
to play.
yesterday and dominated defensively in
I
every way.
think I think it was Ugarte
I mean,
and Fernandez and Mazraoui and Licha who helped the unit for Maguire to bring out his best performance this season. Because Maguire, by the way, he has the physical attributes to fight with Erling Haaland all day, every day. But in this formation with three at the back, I hope that he never plays as a left-sided centre back. I would rather that he plays in the middle of the center backs because he's big. He's not the quickest player. So why
no,
would
he's
you
not.
play
He's slow.
him? Yeah,
Truth be told, he's
but
slow. That is correct.
and that is the thing that might maybe hamper his progress in that role. But I hope he does not get a contract. Let him play very well this season and be moved on. We need quicker players at the back because we intend to play a high line.
Josh. But yeah, to
No,
be
no, no,
honest,
no. He's
I love him,
31.
but he shouldn't.
He's
Yeah, he
31.
shouldn't.
Yeah, he's
Maguire,
31. He
Eriksen,
started to show that
Casemiro,
his health is not the best.
Johnny Evans.
For me,
We have
I
around
would keep
7 players.
Casemiro.
Luke
I would
Shaw.
keep Casemiro around. Not
Yeah,
give
I
him
would
a
keep
new
him if
contract,
his
but keep him
wages.
around.
No, if suitors come, Josh, let him go.
No suitors. Anyway, you
You never
said
know,
if.
Josh.
You
Yeah,
said
you never
if.
know. Things can always come.
Yeah.
You know, things can. We have around 7 players that should go. Let them leave at the end of the season. I'm really happy. As you said,
Yeah, with the
happy
way
for Maguire,
Ratcliffe
but
is with the way Ratcliffe is weeping every situation at United, I really think that I mean he's not going to have water carriers. That situation where we had Phil Jones, Anthony Martial, players
mm,
who were not available, but they were getting new contracts and stuff like that. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the manager.
that is true. I remember
Yeah,
that
and
contract, that Luke Shaw contract also somewhat pissed me off. I mean, it was too bumpy, and he
yeah,
barely played. But anyhow, That time Rashford got his contract, no one would have said no because he was scoring goals, he was shooting, he was breaking everything, and you
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
really
yeah,
blame
yeah.
them. But once again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, Josh and Isa. Please do subscribe, turn on the notifications. It's been a pleasure. J2, shout outs to you. Nelson, shout outs to you. Sinan, shout outs to you. Everyone that has been streaming with us live. Big pleasure, man. Glory, glory, Man United. Josh, before we sign out, let's talk about Man City. What's happening to Man City, Josh? 11 games, all competitions, 8 losses, 1 win, 2 draws.
Yeah, and the worst thing that is happening at Man City is the players look like they are not intelligent anymore. The movements they make on the pitch, the where they choose to pass the ball. Believe you me, I mean, they look like shadows of their old selves.
That is not fair for you to say they look like they are
No,
not
but that's how they
intelligent
look.
anymore.
Yeah, they look like they're not intelligent anymore. You see, there are things that there's a structure manager can give you, but there are things that you can do in game. You know, there's a
Hmm.
clever movements here and there. There's tap-ins. There's, you know, maybe when they were on song, you would say that at a certain point, Ederson would just choose to play this ball long, even if Guardiola is jumping on the touchline and telling him, "Don't play it long." And Erling Haaland scores from it, but they're not even being innovative in any way.
And Arsenal and Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool is running away. Liverpool is running away. I mean, a
No, well,
slot,
they're
slot.
not. They're not. Rather, they thought they were running away, but they've dropped 4 points in how many
Yeah,
in two
yeah,
games,
yeah.
Josh?
But still, they're running
And
away
guess who has been
because
winning? Guess who has been winning?
Chelsea,
Anslot. Yeah, he's right into the mix, Josh. I
Chelsea,
mean,
not
maybe it's too early to.
Maresca.
Okay, Maresca. Oh God, I said Anslot. That's Liverpool. Enzo Maresca, Josh. He's just 2 points behind them. Liverpool has 36. Maresca has 34. All the last 5 games won compared to Liverpool. Last five
I would
games they have
rather I would rather
3 and 2
Chelsea
draws.
wins it than the other two,
I
the
know,
other three.
I know. Arsenal is also still in the mix. They have 30 points, 6 points
So
of
is
the top.
United.
Of the top,
If Arsenal
Nottingham
is
Forest with 28 points.
Arsenal is
Man
six
City
points off the
27.
top, okay,
Yep.
and United is 6 points away from Arsenal.
No, eight.
No,
Eight.
no way,
Arsenal has
no.
30.
Oh my God!
Yep.
And so we just beat Arsenal at home,
Hmm.
and okay,
Bournemouth, Fulham, Brighton are
challenge
the ones that
accepted.
are 6 points away. Challenge accepted.
Mm.
I hope you don't backtrack on that.
No,
Anyhow,
no, no,
guys,
no.
thank you so much for tuning in. Sports Judge, it's been a pleasure. See you tomorrow, same time. Catch you tomorrow. Shout out to everyone that was part of the stream. Adios. We are out.
Cheers, man.